Hello all, Old Geek here, and I've just had a fairly disastrous attempt at doing a live stream of me watching a video because my computer's too useless. So I'm going to spend my evening doing something productive in a different way. And let's have a look at a Dragon magazine. I finished the Carcass Crawler series. I'm up to White Dwarf 4, and it's been a little while since I've looked at the Dragon, and they're into double figures now. This is the Dragon 10. Okay, shall we see what's in there? Dragon has been getting better. White Dwarf has wobbled a bit after a bright start. Let's see if Dragon can continue. This is volume 2, number 4, and the October 1970. Oh, don't do my homework, do I? I'm useless. Right, bright, colourful cover. Nice, bright, colourful cover. It's not artistically as good as the White Dwarf covers, but it is nice and bright and colourful, and got to give it credit for that. Looks very Jeff D-ish in style. I don't think he was on board at this sort of time. It's a bit sort of overly muscled for my likings. It's Sullivan. It's DCS. Okay. Sullivan, it's better than your previous ones. You were getting a bit better. Okay, we move on to an advert for Winter Fantasy at Lake Geneva, American Legion Hall. Look at this, a non-commercial gaming get-together. Oh, for that to happen nowadays. We have D&D, MA and EPT games all set, a Mahjong Tourney 2. Right now we need your help. Contact Mary Gygax right away if you would enjoy judging a game or tournament. Thanks. Right, so it's $3 for both days pre-order. That's fine. That just covers costs, doesn't it? Okay. An Elric game by the Chaosium. Did they become? So I don't know if the Chaosium became Chaosium. Anyway, all the things I think I'm going to look up. But All the World's Monsters, edited by Steve Perrin and Jeff Pimper. That's an unfortunate surname, Pimper. Sorry, Jeff. Okay, here we go. Dragon Rumbles. This is Tim Kask. Hopefully that isn't too much of a clumsy moment in the video, as I just noticed I hadn't got all the screen in my recording area. So, whoops. Professional YouTuber. Never claimed to be. Never claimed to be. Right, this issue contains 36 pages, up 4 from the old size. White Dwarf is currently on 24. The extra 4 this issue were used for the Snits board. SNITS. SNI. Snit smashing. Okay. Right. I'm just gonna keep on moving. Gen Con 10 report: Snit smashing, a weird game. The Diplomatic Stellar Conquest player. Final exam wargame design. Fantasy Forge figure photos. D&D variations on the theme. Orgies Inc. burning up excess loot. Okay, are we going all adult, are we? Random monsters defeating the encyclopedic PCs. Okay. Weights, measures, physical appearance, gaining a new experience level. It looks like they've got quite a lot in here, even though the features don't really appeal to me. The D&D bits do. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. If your mailing label says TD10, this is your last issue. Oh. Not sure if it's my screen recorder playing up, but the screen size just changed again. Okay, anyway, shall we try to continue? Too much loot in your campaign. D&D option, orgies incorporated. Author's note, to avoid confusion later, in this article, lawful equals good and chaotic equals evil, and you can make your own extrapolations from there. Oh, fair enough. Right, so this is an answer to a vexing problem that appeared in local play, too much treasure in the scenario. After players amassed a few thousand gold pieces of equipment costs become irrelevant, although the players had nowhere near enough money for luxuries like private towers or galleys. But there was far too much cash for the players to simply leave in their rooms at the local inn. This couldn't be right. For Ferdinand, the Grey Mouser never had it so good, and the poor harried ref had to continually devise sneaky ways to divest his players of their ill-gotten gains. AD&D came up with training to gain levels. Keeps the characters poor till about level 6 or 7. Marvellous. But this is the sort of thing, though, that does help. It's creative. It's a way of, DM help. And of course, these are the very early days. This is pre-AD&D rulebooks. So we're still looking at OD&D. And the game is very much in a developmental phase. So all these ideas are ways of spending the money, forcing the money out of the players. Yeah, good. Precisely the sort of thing you need to see in these early magazines. And from a lot of these early magazines, we got developments that became normal in the games. Right. So yeah, this does appear to be a somewhat adult scene of gremlins and naked young ladies, and goblins, and it's all a bit. Yeah. Okay. Right. Fine. Bit weird. I have to admit, bit weird. Establish a bank, yes. Devious means. Devious means are good. Gen Con 1977 final report. So we are in 1977. Total attendance for 4 days was in excess of 6,000, with 2,300 paid conventioneers and over 2,600 different people. That means most people went for multiple days. Perfect. Brilliant. Lots of games and tournaments. Exactly what you expect for a convention. And here come my family home. Effects of an orgy on psionic powers. Right. Does that mean they lose their brain power because the body is taking over? Or they recover it. Okay, yeah, they recover it. The brain is just tired. It's a man thing. Designing for unique wilderness encounters. Right. So these are terrain rolls. Random terrain. I've seen random dungeon generators. I've not seen a random terrain generator in D&D. I like this. I like this a lot. Wonder how it'll work. As long as it get the balances in the tables right, you could generate an area pretty well with that. Trees, was it trees and bushes? Dense brush, dense woods, light woods, grades of slope, rough ground. Yeah, okay. It's not a problem. Not a problem. List of conventions. All of them are in the USA. It's a shame. Price of figures. Wonder if someone's going to do a spreadsheet after all of these, charting the inflation. in each of these, how figures have gone up over time. Because I wonder if these are more expensive than the figures being advertised a year previous. Random monsters. No, I don't mean wandering monsters. I mean random monsters. One of the problems with D&D is that the players always know too much. Oh, it's all about, yeah, players who learn what monsters are and learn all the stats and metagame. But right, if you are pre-creating an adventuring location, you don't need to do random monsters. I'm wondering if this is for the idea of sort of like randomly generating dungeons and populating rooms as you go along, because there is absolutely no need to create a random monster. I mean, you could have some random elements, but monsters were so simple in early versions of D&D. 5 minutes to just to reskin something, change something up so that keep the players guessing. If all you want to do is keep the players guessing, then you just make an existing monster look different. They won't know. Anyway, no, I'm not a fan of the idea of generating random monsters. There's enough randomness in the game as it is. Just DMs, just be properly prepared. Oh, quite like that artwork. Quite like that artwork, but is that some big random monster? We are harking back to a time when it was a more innocent time, when games didn't always need to make sense. People didn't demand inner logic and verisimilitude, I guess, because a lot of it was all new. So you have to look at it from that perspective. Right, yeah, there's too much given over to... I mean, if there's some ideas in here, things you can add to... Take an existing monster and roll on one of these tables for a mutation to make it something different, to give the players a surprise. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. There's not a problem with that at all. But entirely random monsters, I'm not interested. Let there be method to your madness. When designing a dungeon, before you begin madly scattering chutes, monsters, and secret doors, take a moment to figure out what it's all for. If you're postulating a world with any sort of realism at all, you must appreciate that a dungeon doesn't just come into being for the hell of it. Can anyone see the irony here? We've just had an article on totally random monsters, immediately followed by an article on prepare your dungeon, plan your dungeon, make it mean something. Completely random magazine. Prepare your magazine. Okay, but no, I like my dungeons to have a purpose. I will agree with this author, even though I don't read all of the... I'm not going to read all of the article. He's probably got the same sort of approach that I have, in that I like to put rooms in there that serve a purpose. For example, in my admittedly silly game that I'm running for OSE, I still have that inner desire for logic, that when I created this race of turtle people, I gave them storage rooms and a birthing pool filled with young, and I gave their chief his own sort of slightly more elegant chamber, and a room where one of their a statue of their god had been before kobolds broke it. But you it makes players think, makes players adapt, and it helps to immerse players into the dungeon when it has some meaning to it. Anyway, I'm moving on. Little bit of artwork. Yeah. See, same room, two different times. You've got One with the nice curtains up, one with the curtains torn down. Table's been broken. The lamp hanging from the wall's been looted. All the nice stuff's been taken off the walls. Yeah. And you can make changes between forays into the dungeon as well. Make your dungeon feel right. Lots of adverts. We've got 36 pages in this one, so I'm going, right, this is snit smashing. A bolochumus waits by the side of the sea. A snit scurries, I-E-S, scurries, look, out of the surf, squeaking a lusty go-go as it rushes towards a snander grab. A desperate run, the snit makes it and plants his snotch. Okay. Okay. All these silly words. Just put me off. What? What? And these are what the extra pages are for. These record... I'm not reading all of this. No idea. No idea what the game does. It sounds very silly. They made up lots of stupid words. And, yep, I'm an old bah humbug. Weights and measures. Physical appearance. Why males are strong. Whoa, why males are stronger than females. Ooh, like that touch paper. Tss. Right. Physical appearance of characters. So you're rolling dice, rolling 3d6 to generate height and weight. Yeah, I know AD&D had random generation for height and weight, but you know what I do? I take a look at my character's stats and think, I'm quite strong. I might be short and sturdy. I might be tall and sturdy. Okay, let's have a look at my constitution. Oh, it's good. Okay. What about my dexterity? Oh, that's low. Right, I'm going to be a big strong lump. You use the stats to help you, and then you just pick. Oh, the shame of it. But that's fine. I mean, it gives a point of reference for demi-humans and for some odd humans somewhere on the planet who doesn't know how big humans should be. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's compare. And notice how close the elf height is to humans. That changed for AD&D, didn't it? Only 1 inch shorter throughout. Much lighter. Yeah, they were a lot lighter. Okay. But anyway, I just let my players choose. And when I choose, I use the stats to guide me. Because I'm like that. And I let my players and I choose hair colour as well. They can roll if they want to. It's up to them. But if you're generating NPCs, though, if as a DM you need a few NPCs in a hurry, it's fine. Yeah, just use these tables. You can create some really odd parties, which could be quite amusing. But if you're playing the character for a length of time, just let the player choose. Because we've got personalities here as well, and I would never have a player pre-roll a personality and then have to play that personality. So this is NPCs only. NPCs only. Gaining a new experience level. Okay. Now, we discussed this sort of thing on the stream last week. Existing rules for D&D and EPT are very clear concerning the mechanics of how a character gains the new abilities, hit points and whatnot upon reaching a new experience level. At the end of an adventure is about all they say. Well, some characters go on lengthy adventures, others get lost and stay away from home longer than they had intended. Others simply transfer their domicile, sometimes without knowing in advance where they're going to settle down. The vague existing rules do not cover this sort of thing. Okay. Some sort of definite ritual that characters may undergo at any time once their total experience points qualify them for a higher experience level. Are they testing the water? Oh no, it's not training. Sacrifices? Oh, it's clerics making offerings to gain new stuff. Well, that's fine. Yeah. I don't, yeah, I'm quite, in a game where they don't have training mechanisms, or maybe even replacing training mechanisms. Yeah, that's good. Doing something for your deity as a cleric to gain the stuff, and then you could do something for each of the classes. I mean, you could replace training with soldier duty, or a magic user spending a few weeks at a mage's college, or doing a course of sorts on potion brewing, or it doesn't have to be in direct one-to-one training. If you've got mage's colleges in your world, or major academics, then maybe a mage can go and learn from them, and it could even be in a group. You can make, what I'm trying to say is you can make something flavourful to replace training, but in AD&D, because of the amount of gold, I like having the training costs in place. I said it's good gold, great gold sink. Okay. Tactics of diplomacy in Stellar Conquest. Wondering how diplomacy affects Stellar Conquest? No, I don't play Stellar Conquest, so sorry. Detroit WinterCon. $5 all weekend. Be wonderful, that would. Council of the Five Nations, second annual wargame. See all these conventions springing up. Wonderful. Maybe they're already there and they just now have a means of advertising them, but great. Lots and lots of miniatures. Wormy. Okay. Pharaoh, the mystic mountains tall, the dragon skulketh in his hall. Will have his tale if he doth fail to forketh o'er our bowling balls. Oh yes, yeah. You had the bowling balls last time. Listen, Woimy, the dwarves are still out there. Okay, now I guess it's time to show them rock eaters who's boss, right, Irving? Hot dog, you're gonna breathe the fire and boil them to a crisp. This meant to be a Boston accent. Nope, I'm gonna stump him. You're gonna stump him into that doit. What? Doit? Not a bad idea, but a class dragon always stumps the chumps with a riddle. A riddle? I dunno, Woimy. I don't think they gonna buy it. That's okay. I didn't buy their bowling balls either. I stole them. Okay. So the Wormy has nicked the bowling balls. The dwarfs are coming to get them back, and he's gonna do a Ridley thing. Okay. Phineas Fingers, Fred and Charlie in Hobbits are definitely bad company. I can't read another one. I'll come back and read that. Phineas Fingers was one of the better cartoons anyway. They got rid of it and things like that. More adverts for miniatures. Notice how these adverts are now looking so much more professional than on the first few issues. Companies are getting their act together. There were some horribly unprofessional adverts previously, and these are starting to look a little bit better. So the whole business appears to be becoming a little bit more slick, more presentable. But there are a lot of ads in here. There are a lot of ads. Oh, and this is the board for the silly Snits thing. Okay. Thank you. So you meant to pull those pages out and cut something out, and okay. Right. Great. They're little bits of paper they'll blow off. I have to say, that edition, the Snits thing, yeah. Artwork is improving. The comic strips are improving. A lot of adverts. Though the adverts are more professional, still a lot of adverts. I didn't see a letters page. Don't know where that went. The thing about gaining levels, fine. Thing about designing dungeons to feel more real, fine. Yeah, really good. Those are good. Gen Con report, okay, you might read that once. Stellar Conquest, no, not interested. War game design, not interested. Burning up excess loot, yeah, that was good. So weights measures physical appearance, useful for NPCs, not necessarily necessary for PCs. The random unique wilderness tables to create, yeah, that's fine as well. So that is a mixed bag, very, very mixed bag, and it looks very much for me like where they've got a focus on the D&D. They're doing some good things. They're thinking of the DMs and coming out with some interesting things. But when they try and diverge into other stuff, it's not so good. Anyway, I wouldn't have, if I'd have picked up this magazine at the time, I would not have been unhappy. I'd have probably enjoyed the Snits game when I was a kid. But I'm a little bit more cynical towards those sort of things now. I've got better things to do with my time. So I'm glad to see less fiction in there. I'd like, well, I know the letters page will come back, but sad to see that's gone. I think this is an above average issue. Just about. I think the good bits just about outweigh the nonsense. But it's hovering. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little read through of Dragon issue 10, or volume 2, number 4. I've been the Old Geek, and I'll see you again soon.